Dr. Grant Patrick. The Redheads, Unforgettable Grandpa's Fairy Tales. Chapter 14. The Trial of Shadows. With the forest guardians by their side, the Redheads returned to their heartwood tree, each of them still awestruck by the events that had unfolded. Although their newfound alliance filled them with hope, an unspoken understanding hung in the air. They would need to be braver than ever to confront the Lord of Shadows, whose power seemed to grow with each passing day. Liam took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. Around him, his friends were already tending to the forest, each practicing the new magic the Guardians had imparted. This magic was unlike anything they'd ever known. Its roots ran deep, ancient and wild, pulsing with a rhythm that mirrored the very heartbeat of the forest. One by one, the Guardians stepped forward to bestow blessings upon the Redheads, gifts meant to enhance their natural abilities and allow them to channel the forest's magic. The silver-furred wolf, their guide and mentor among the Guardians, stood at the center of the Heartwood clearing and addressed the group. "You have proven yourselves worthy protectors of this forest," the wolf said, his voice resonating through the clearing. "But remember, the magic of the forest is not a weapon to wield in anger. It is a force of harmony, a bond between all living things. Use it wisely, for its power is as great as it is fragile." The Redheads nodded solemnly, each feeling the gravity of the wolf's words. The forest guardians had taught them that their strength lay not just in their abilities but in their unity, their courage, and their compassion for all creatures. The wolf turned to Liam first, his yellow eyes glowing with ancient wisdom. "You, Liam, will bear the gift of resilience. No darkness shall touch your spirit as long as your heart is true." The wolf bowed its head gracefully, its silver fur shimmering before seeming to melt into Liam's hands, leaving behind a faint, silvery glow. Liam felt a warm strength fill him, as if a protective shield had wrapped around his heart. For Roisin, the Guardians granted the gift of harmony. A sleek black panther approached her, its emerald eyes locking onto hers with a knowing gaze. "Your spirit is gentle yet fierce. Use this gift to bring peace where there is conflict and to restore balance where it has been lost." The panther pressed its head to Roisin's hand, and a rush of warmth surged through her, a feeling of unity with every living thing around her. One by one, the Guardians bestowed their gifts upon the others. Kieran received the gift of courage, presented by the owl with silver feathers. Niamh was granted the gift of fortitude by the mighty elk, whose antlers shimmered as if brushed by starlight. Each Redhead was bestowed a unique power, one that would serve as their strength in the trials ahead. As the Guardians completed their blessings, an air of hope settled over the group, their spirits buoyed and fears softened. Yet, before they could fully embrace the moment, an unnatural chill swept through their heartwood clearing, chilling them to the bone. Shadows began to coil and writhe along the forest floor like serpents of smoke. A voice, cold and venomous, reverberated through the trees, thick with malice. "Do you truly believe your trifling magic will save you?" It was the Lord of Shadows, his presence oppressive and sinister. "This forest is mine. No fragile bond or borrowed power will halt my dominion." Reacting instinctively, the Redheads formed a circle, their hands glowing faintly with the energies gifted by the Guardians. A fierce determination gripped them, their resolve solidified by the bond they shared and the stakes they knew lay ahead. "Darkness may be your ally," Liam declared, his voice unwavering, "but we stand with the forest, with its strength, its unity, and its light." The Lord of Shadows responded with a chilling, guttural laugh. "Unity," he hissed mockingly. "Let us see how it endures against true power." The shadows thickened, spreading like ink across the clearing. The heartwood tree itself seemed to tremble under the encroaching darkness, its ancient roots quivering as the mist reached toward it. The Guardians stepped forward, their presence a shield of defiance as they formed a protective barrier around the Redheads. "Stay united," the silver-furred wolf commanded, its voice filled with authority. "The shadows cannot divide what stands together. Together, you are the forest's strength." Clasping hands tightly, the Redheads reinforced their circle. Their breaths aligned, hearts pounding in a synchronized rhythm. The magic of the forest coursed through them, a vivid pulse that connected them not just to one another but to every leaf, root, and creature of the land. The Lord of Shadows intensified his attack, the encroaching mist pressing against their barrier with ominous force. But the Redheads held their ground, their unity unwavering. Together, they began chanting, the song of resilience taught by the Guardians, a melody of light, harmony, and courage that resonated through the clearing. The darkness hesitated, faltering as the music swelled. The mist retreated momentarily, as though it were stung by the warmth of their voices. But the Lord of Shadows was relentless. With a roar of fury, he unleashed a torrent of darkness that crashed into their shield like a tempest, sending tremors through their circle. The weight of the attack bore down on them, but Liam, gripping Roisin's hand with steadfast resolve, refused to yield. "We can do this," he whispered, his voice a lifeline of hope. "We must hold on. Together, we are stronger." Roisin returned his grasp with equal determination, her voice steady. "Always, Liam. Together, always." Their chant grew louder, their voices a symphony of defiance. Light flared from their circle, pushing back the darkness as their bond intensified. The Lord of Shadows recoiled, his mist slithering away from the radiant force of their unity. Yet he was cunning. Realizing brute strength could not break their bond, the shadows shifted, their edges softening into tendrils of deceit. From the mist came whispers, insidious words that seeped into the air, each syllable crafted to plant doubt and fear in their hearts. "Why do you trust each other?" The voice taunted, dripping with malice. "Do you really believe they will stand by you when things grow bleak? They are only with you now because they fear me. Your unity is an illusion." The Redheads felt the sting of the Lord of Shadows' words, a creeping doubt beginning to claw at their minds. The shadows seemed to feed on their hesitation, growing darker, colder, more oppressive. But just as uncertainty began to settle, Liam's voice rang out, steady, unwavering, and filled with defiance. "His wrong," Liam said, meeting the eyes of each of his friends. His gaze held no trace of fear, only determination. "We're not here because of fear. We're here because we love our home and because we believe in each other. The Lord of Shadows will never understand that." His words were like a spark in the darkness, igniting a fire within the group. The doubt that had threatened to overtake them was dispelled, replaced by an unbreakable resolve. One by one, they tightened their grip on each other, their bond solidifying in the face of adversity. Summoning every ounce of their strength, the Redheads called upon the magic of the forest, allowing its light to surge through them like a powerful current. It was not a single voice but a chorus, a melody of unity that resonated deep within the heartwood tree. The tree responded with radiant brilliance. Its branches glowed with golden light, spreading warmth and hope across the clearing. The light crept into every shadowed corner, driving out the darkness with its steady, unyielding presence. The Lord of Shadows howled in fury, his form flickering like a dying flame. "This isn't over," he hissed, his venomous voice trembling with rage. "I will return, and when I do, you will regret standing against me." With a final hate-filled glare, he dissolved into the shadows, retreating into the depths of the forest. The Redheads collapsed onto the ground, utterly spent but victorious. Their breaths came in ragged gasps, but their faces were alight with relief. They had faced their darkest fears, and together, they had prevailed. As they lay catching their breath, the Guardians stepped forward, their forms glowing softly in the golden light of the heartwood tree. The silver-furred wolf approached, his expression a mixture of pride and approval. "You have done well," he said warmly, his voice as soothing as the forest breeze. "Today, you proved that the power of unity and love is stronger than any darkness." Liam turned to his friends, a weary but genuine smile on his face. They had faced the impossible and emerged stronger, not just as individuals, but as a united force. But even as the light bathed the clearing, they knew their journey was far from over. The threat of the Lord of Shadows lingered like a distant storm, and though this battle had been won, the war was still on the horizon. Yet as they stood together beneath the radiant heartwood tree, a renewed sense of hope filled their hearts. They had the strength of the Guardians, the power of the forest, and, most importantly, each other. As long as they stood together, they could face anything the shadows dared to throw their way.